Well, speaking of concussions, the Oscars,
That was a great. Go ahead, do it. Go for it. Go for it.
the Oscars were this week, Sunday. Well, last week, if you're watching this on Monday. Um, and
What if
Will
they're
Smith
watching it on Tuesday? Is it still last week?
I still didn't watch it. The only thing I saw from the Oscars was that moment.
Oh
Only
no,
thing.
I was watching it live. That's what made it even better. Just like you're just watching this boring ass show, and and then Will Smith gets up, like Chris Rock gets up. I'm excited. I like comedy, whatever. He makes a joke that wasn't really funny, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then Will Smith just gets up, smacks him in the face. And I'm like, oh, they're in on this bit. Like
That's what I thought.
I'm like, it's a Will and Chris thing because the way that Chris like fell into it, I was like, oh, he's just going along with the gag. And then they cut away, and then that's when we all realized shit hit the fan. And then we were all sitting there like, is it real? And I was like, I don't know. And everyone's going back and forth. And then we went on Twitter, and then like the Japanese and Australian versions came out, and we're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that was real.
People are memeing that moment.
Is your microphone just like sitting on your desk?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Every time you touch your desk, I'm hearing it.
Oh, I
Oh.
heard that too, actually.
Yeah, it's like your elbow hits it and suddenly there's a big ass clunk and it's in the middle of you talking and it's gonna be fucking hell.
Okay, I won't touch the desk.
Also, Jake, audio guy.
Yeah,
How come you heard the slap like it almost like he slapped his microphone?
because he probably did. Like,
Wouldn't it be on his chest though?
Well, you choose like those like placements based on like the clothing you're wearing and all that kind of shit. So like
But it's
generally,
not on his cheek.
no, it's not. But like it's Will Smith, and this is a throwback reference. Is not Rayman. He has a whole arm attached to his hands, and sometimes like the other parts of it, like his suit, like all those suits. Like when I looked at it, I was like, I'm amazed he even got to his face because it does not look like that suit allows that range of motion.
Well,
Like,
that's probably
like-
why his slap looked like a little bitch slap too. Like I was like, Will
Well,
Smith does
yeah.
not know how to slap somebody.
Well, like it never happens. Not never, but like it in movies all the time. You in like fancy clothes, it's always just like the like tomboy will be like, I gotta get these fucking sleeves off, and like ripping the sleeves to be able to have like range of motion again. But that's the same shit is like the same shit in suits is like yeah, you can't like do the whole arms as like you're restricted a little bit in your range of motion. So it probably is just the lower part of it, like his forearm hit his mic.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I didn't think it was that outlandish.
You can also just hit like near the mic and you'll still get those thumbs.
That's what but also I'm sure Chris made a sound.
No, Chris ate that shit like a champ. He didn't even fucking flinch.
Yeah.
I know he ate it. Say that again, Jake.
There's very much like a mic thump. I know exactly what Jess is talking about. Like there's very much like a
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought it was fake, actually, because I thought it was a publicity stunt.
They would have done a clap or something like that.
I didn't think it was oh, you thought it was fake, like conspiracy theory? I just thought it was fake. I thought they were
it
like
was
fucking around.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, because like they're boys, they like know each other, and obviously they know each other.
Well,
They've been
leading
in the
into
business
that,
for years.
I have this strong opinion that I don't think he would have did it. So here I have such an opinion on this because the internet is sticking up for it, and I can't fucking be bothered. Like, huh?
So dive into it.
Yeah, because they're just sticking up for Will Smith. And first of all, bold of the entire internet to assume that I watched Jada fucking Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk on the daily. I didn't even know she had alopecia. I didn't get the joke. Like, yeah, I thought it was just about her haircut.
Yeah, I was gonna say the joke was about specifically alopecia as much as like, oh, look, that's what her hair is at right now.
And it's always been like that. She's always had short hair. That's Jada's thing. Like, she's always in the 90s. She had short hair. Like, it's always been her thing.
It's also like I keep hearing the same take. They're like, she is a very attractive woman. Like, what's the problem? Like, she says she's fine with it. It's not like anyone's making fun of her being ugly or anything like that.
Just
like
last
everyone
week,
is aware that she's
just last week, she's like, oh, I'm so proud of my bald head. Well, which is it? You proud or she's salty because Chris Rock made the Rihanna's panties joke a couple years ago.
the argument there is like you can't like just because she's proud of it doesn't mean you can make fun of it. Like if I'm proud of my baldness,
but we're not making. Nobody's making fun of it though. Like it's just
I
people
mean,
make fun of.
That was.
No, like he was making fun of a haircut though, not
right
alopecia.
Right, but again,
it's not a choice when you have alopecia.
Right, and that's like
you can't opt out of that haircut when you have like alopecia.
Well, yeah, but like I said before, people make fun of LeBron James's hairline on the fucking daily. There's been jokes about his fucking sweatband going back, and that's like natural baldness. Nobody's pissed off about that.
It's because it's all like on the internet, and it's not in like a public setting. Like nobody's roasting him about it on like.
Yeah, they do.
In a setting like that.
Charles Barkley roasts him on fucking Inside the NBA all the time.
To be fair, Charles Barkley's bald as shit. So like,
right,
that's just like one bald dude being like, "Dude, you're also bald." Like that's. And also, we're concentrating a lot on Jada's reaction for some reason. She barely seems to have had one.
Well, but it's no because you know what it is. Because here's what it is. I'm gonna start my rant now. Because here's what it is. First of all, we need to remember who Jada is. She's from the streets. She wanted that to happen badly. Just so everybody knows, she feeds off this. We know it. Like she was Tupac's ex-girlfriend. She comes from the streets. Like that's Jada Pinkett Smith. Also, Will Smith it's this weird thing because he was laughing at the joke first, and then he looked at Jada, and then he got mad because Jada was mad. Will Smith, do you remember a couple of months ago where with August Alsina and all that stuff was going on? He released a song like August Alsina was dating Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, I remember.
Which again, back to shows you who Jada is, because August Alsina was her son's friend, and she was sleeping with him.
I think it's Alsina, but
whatever. He's got good music though. But Will Smith has felt emasculated ever since that happened because he's been embarrassed by Jada publicly ever since then. So now what did he do? He went up there and he smacked Chris Rock. Would he have done it if it was Ricky Gervais? Never in a million years. If it was anybody else but Chris Rock, he wouldn't have did it. If it was Chris Tucker, he wouldn't have went up there and did it.
See, I think there is a point to be like, yeah, there are people I can picture Will Smith not doing that to.
Right.
But Ricky Gervais and Chris Tucker don't make that list.
I don't think he would.
I think he has even less of a reason to give a shit. And I think half of the internet, kind of half the internet still is just like fucking like on Will Smith's side, basically on the whole thing. So like it's maybe the splits don't change that much, but like a lot of people have come out and been like, bro, why the fuck hasn't Ricky Gervais gotten his shit rocked off?
Yeah.
Because it's in a professional setting. Like Will Smith was trashy as fuck when he did that. And Chris Rock, like Wanda Sykes said, Chris Rock came off the stage and apologized. And he didn't even do anything. Yeah.
Well, because from his perspective, I remember reading that thing. It was just like, this is supposed to be like a big night for you and like the other people that were hosting because they had like multiple hosts. And it's like, and now all this is the only thing people are going to fucking talk about. So like, Chris Rock is a nice guy. I think like it would if it was someone who was just like fucking big.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
Like,
I said if
like
it was
star-esque person, but like a fucking like The Rock making a joke like that, like I don't think Will Smith does it. But like Chris Tucker,
I don't think he would have. I really don't think he would have because know who you're slapping. Chris Tucker would have beat the fucking shit out of him. Like I don't think, and Ricky Gervais too. Ricky Gervais wouldn't have took it if he just went up there and slapped him. Ricky Gervais wouldn't have handled it like Chris Rock did.
The reason that Ricky Gervais wouldn't have taken is because he probably would have been like on the ground fucking crying. Like Ricky Gervais, Ricky's not like a tough guy. Like,
no, he's not a tough guy, but Ricky Gervais would have made more jokes
Twitter about how he doesn't believe in God and makes
but what my point is
some big like, oh, I'll get into a fight, I'll be all rough and tumble and bullshit. It's like no, he'd be like, I can't believe the black man slapped me. And then,
but he
like,
would
run back to him and cry about it on Twitter.
No,
like,
I think he would roast them for the rest of the show.
I mean,
and Will Smith wouldn't want that.
If you look at,
he wouldn't be on stage in the same context like 2 minutes later.
Well, that's the thing. Like if you
rotated hosts,
if you look at what happened, Chris Rock was about to go in on him, There was a moment where he's like, I could, and then he stops himself. But I think like I don't like I've watched a bunch of comedians talk about it. Like half of them, no comedian that I know is siding with Will Smith. Not black ones, white ones. None of them are siding with Will Smith.
It infuriates me that the internet is on Will Smith's side. It infuriates me.
I don't think it's the internet. I think the people that are there's. Go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
I just seen an even divide was all I was saying. I've seen the same amount of people being like, yeah, that was some fucked up shit from Will Smith, and also people being like, yeah, that's
yeah, I haven't.
Why he did it, but I truthfully, it's in my opinion, it's like like if it was a fucking bar fight, it's like, yeah, I would probably be on Will Smith's side, but it's like context matters,
exactly
where you're at matters, and you just kind of like, yeah.
And that's the thing. Was it a bad joke? Yeah, 100%. It was a bad joke. Should every comedian be slapped because they made a bad joke? No, like it was trashy. You're at the fucking Oscars. That's a work event. I think that's what people don't understand. Like all of these people are at work. Go up to your coworker and smack them in the face and see what happens.
Like, well, if I was going to get like a shit ton of like internet traffic and people like reaching out to me about like the thing and suddenly like bring my name up like that, yeah, I'll do that. But my coworker doesn't make millions of dollars and has a award show just being like, you are great, people do love you. Like the Oscars are bullshit anyway. It's a work event, but it's also just, it's the work event where it's like their version of like you're great guys, here's some pizza, except it involves fucking trophies that they take home to feel meaningful. Like it's all award events are really fucking silly.
I mean, I think that's also the wildest of the whole situation is the fact that when I watch it again, I genuinely feel bad for Chris because it's like nobody's coming to his defense. Nobody's like jumping up on stage like, bro, you good? I mean, I'm sure like Questlove whispered him like everything all right or whatever, but I mean, there's that too. He took away Quest's moment. He had a whole documentary about his fucking father, and that's out the window now. I mean, like nobody really remembers that now.
Like the reactions, like people screen capped it when it was like happening. A lot of people are just like, a lot of people there very clearly aren't on Will Smith's side. They're like, what the fuck? In most of the reactions, except Ryan Gosling, who's just like, dude, that was weird.
Well, I think, okay.
Well, no, Tiffany Haddish was on his side too, which was weird because she's a comedian. Like I would, and she makes bad jokes all the time. Like she's not even a good comedian. So like,
my Twitter handle's inspired by Tiffany Haddish, but only her name, not really her comedy. But fucking that doesn't surprise me, I guess. It's been a long time since I've heard Tiffany Haddish's name in like a super relevant context, and haven't even heard it until this moment about this instance. So
I think the people that are siding with Will are thinking about it in like a racial aspect and him like making fun of a black woman's hair and that being the public forum for it. And that's why people are siding with him. Well, because it's like, bro, you just disrespect my wife.
See, like that. I haven't seen any of that. I've only seen the alopecia stuff.
Yeah, but the alopecia, I guess it's a mix of both because it's like black women's hair is a sensitive topic and you're also in a room full of white people. Like just because, Will won whatever best actor or whatever, but 90% of the room is white. Chris Rock, who is kind of known, well, not known, but Chris Rock hosted the Oscars during Oscars So White. So he's also got like that, like, I don't think the culture really fucked with him during that time because he was hosting or that was an argument back then.
But here's the thing. If Will Smith was angry enough because Chris Rock was joking about a black woman's hair, that he went up there and smacked him for the culture, then for the culture, Will Smith should not be working with white producers. He should only be hiring black producers because he's in the position to do it. But he doesn't. Because why? Because that benefits him. So like I'm telling you, it's because he's been feeling emasculated. So when he thought the joke was funny, he laughed. He looked over his wife. She was pissed off. And he was like, fuck, I need to show my masculinity right now to my wife.
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that's not why he didn't do it. I'm saying this is why people are siding with Will. Like they're looking at it from a different aspect. but none of that was going through anybody's mind. Like the racial aspect of it wasn't going through anyone's mind. To be honest, I don't even know if the alopecia was going through Will's mind. I almost wish Chris had used a different joke that didn't fuck with her
but
disease or whatever.
If you really break down the joke, though, also too, like, remember people were praising Demi Moore for her haircut in G.I. Jane? Like they were like, "Oh my god!" Because do you not remember that?
Nobody watched that movie.
I know, no, I didn't see the movie.
Also,
it was like during.
No, not really. No,
no, I didn't see the movie.
She's also always had
like,
short hair.
No, Demi Moore.
Yeah, she's
had long, beautiful, flowing hair, and that was the whole point. They were like, "Oh my god, she shaved all her hair off." Like they weren't praising the movie; they were praising her for shaving her head.
I know, but she did have a short haircut. Like there's a whole episode of Friends where Monica wants her haircut to look like Demi Moore, so Phoebe cuts it short. Like she had a short haircut at a certain point.
There is also the option thing where it's like the choice to have long or short hair,
right? As opposed to Jada, who doesn't. But again, if people don't know,
do we know? Also, let me throw this out there. She's posted a picture of her alopecia, and I'm not that I'm downplaying the disease, but it's a mild case. Like she shaved her head. She didn't shave her head because she has alopecia.
Well, yeah, that's the other argument. The other argument is you can easily fix alopecia, but
easily.
I don't know how true it is. I've never had alopecia, so
you can see the little spot on her head that it is. Like she showed it on the Red Table Talk. I just think it's so dumb that people are like, you know what? Two things can be true at once. Should Chris Rock have said the joke? Probably not, but whatever. He said it. Should Will Smith have smacked him? No.
It is annoying because it kind of goes in line with like right-wing people who were like, "You, comedy's dead." Like I had my friend call me and he goes, "Dude, comedy died tonight." And I'm like,
for that's what he was a big fan of the fucking G.I. Jane can wait joke, and he was like, "I can't believe that cancel culture is Will Smith smacking Chris Rock."
I
gotta tell you,
an inherently bad joke, like not even like bad in like a fucking political like.
It's just not funny.
Way. It's not good. But no Oscar jokes are good. They're always like trying to.
I think the only ones that were good were
Comedy's dead, bro. What can we do?
I gotta tell you,
probably the only
can't say G.I. Jane 2 can wait. What is even the joke? G.I. Jane 2? That's the.
It's also so outdated. When did that movie come out?
Why? No, 100%. But I don't think they're actually wrong because seeing people's reaction, but seeing people's reaction to such a bad joke, like they're so sensitive about it. So I mean, I think there's kind of truth to the statement.
It is annoying because it's like I've heard people
like fucking culture war not even a culture war, that's giving it too much weight, but it was like a big moment, and so the decision is who do you like believe is in the right, and then from that where you choose is a lot of people finding evidence to back up their stance. I don't think there was people at the waiting just like the alopecia joke. I mean, Twitter might have said something like that's kind of in poor taste, but it only blew up because of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. If there wouldn't have been a huge fucking outcry over the thing, minus like maybe Will Smith during his acceptance speech could have been like, you know, that was like shitty. Like
that's
everyone, the thing. Everyone at the Oscars.
That's it. He could have did that.
Yeah.
He could have killed.
I'm
Chris.
saying that like I don't think comedy dies during the Oscars.
No, I don't think it died during the Oscars either. But I do think that it's soft now. Like I don't, I don't know.
I mean,
so many stand-up specials that deal with so many horrifying things.
Yeah, dude.
Like 2 years removed from
they all
Bill
get
Burr
canceled.
making
Like look at.
jokes.
But
no,
Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle,
on his sold-out tours, making millions of dollars. Like, yeah, so canceled. Still on Netflix. Still,
but he gets a lot of backlash. Like people wanted Netflix employees were striking over Dave Chappelle.
Right, but Dave Chappelle gets backlash.
They weren't even trying to get his content removed. They weren't those. There are things that they were talking about. It was like, we'd like to have more representation if like across the thing. We think this is in poor taste. We don't like this, but none of the demands were remove Dave Chappelle's content.
And also Dave Chappelle.
Twitter, it might have had some people unrelated being like, I can't believe this, but none of the like employees of Netflix gave a shit like that. It's still there. It's hard to make the argument that cancel culture does anything when you look at it. It's like, yeah, all this shit's still there though. All these people are still doing fucking great.
Louis is still. Chappelle,
Louis got nominated for a Grammy last year, I think. Like,
did he?
Say like, yeah, he released a comedy album and it got nominated for a Grammy.
And he's still killing it, like selling out arenas and shit on the low.
All it is, and he actually like fucking did some real gross shit. Like his cancellation bullshit is not even over like jokes he made. He was actually just a disgusting person.
Yeah.
But like all this shit where it's like, oh, you can't say anything. It's like, well, all the people who say they can't say anything are shouting it to millions of people getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to say that they're not allowed to say these things.
Well, that's the point. Like, I don't know. I just think it's
not cancel culture if you still are wildly relevant and making money off of it.
Yeah,
you are right. I think
like,
people are more sensitive. Like, you know how the best jokes are jokes that come from truth. So it's like, let these people go up there and just tell jokes. Like, you have to find the humor in things. And I feel like nowadays people don't find the humor in it.
I would say if you go to a comedy show, if you pay for a comedy show and then you're complaining about the jokes, then you're a fucking idiot. I do think, though, if you go to the Oscars, you're not necessarily signing up to get roasted. So that would be an argument in Will's defense, where it's like, I didn't come here to.
Is that true, though?
Made fun of.
Is that true, though? Because
what?
All the Oscars have comedians that go up there and roast.
No,
people.
For sure, yeah.
Like, but even the other controversy with Amy Schumer calling Kirsten Dunst a seat filler. Like, they all had to come out and say, oh, that was a planned skit, because people were fuming that they called her a seat filler.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It was. And people were so mad. Like, Amy Schumer had to come out and apologize. It's crazy. Because she called her a seat filler. Like,
not okay. If she's going to apologize for anything, shouldn't she be apologizing for the entanglement joke that she made earlier on the night that no one gave a fuck about?
Exactly my point, because it's like selective. That's what I'm talking about. Will Smith didn't get up and smack her.
I mean,
it's selective.
Yeah, I mean that's the argument. Like, is he getting up to? He's not, like, if Wanda Sykes makes that joke,
he's not slapping her. You can't convince me he's getting up there and he's doing anything.
Well, yeah, I don't think he'd slap Wanda Sykes.
Right.
I heard Wanda Sykes killed it though, so I'm kind of upset. I like Wanda a lot.
They all did pretty good. I mean, they all kind of like did skits and shit. Amy Schumer kind of like, despite what you think of her, she came back after the smack and she was like, "Is everything all right? Did something happen while I was gone?"
I saw that clip.
And Tiffany Haddish
Amy Schumer did the most obvious joke in the moment.
Yeah, basically.
What happened while I was away?
but it just worked. Thanks, Jake.
Half of Twitter the next day. Did something happen at the Oscars last night? It's like everyone made that joke.
Well, I genuinely didn't know. You guys texted me.
Oh yeah, I said it was. We have an episode title. It's just Chris Rock's quote. That's the best thing that in the moment, like, I think Chris Rock is now a week later getting like kind of his flowers for the shit. Like, I read.
His show sold out.
Yeah, he's sold out, and like I've heard some comedians be like, "Yo, he looks like." Like the day after, I heard a couple comedians say he looked like a bitch, but then outside of that, everyone's like, "Bro, he handled this amazingly well." He looks like.
I think he did. I really think he handled it well too.
I think
in the moment he realized like there's no gain if I start like fucking like actually getting into it with Will Smith or anyone on stage who's like doing this at the Oscars. It doesn't look good for me or anyone involved. So he just like kind of ate it, took a second to gather himself and was like, Will Smith slapped the shit out of me, and then moved the fuck on.
Right.
Best quote to say at the end of that, because that is a statement that you just don't really hear ever.
I do think, though, even when he said that, I think he thought Will was still fucking around. It was only until Will sat down and started yelling is when Chris realized
was kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Because I think he thought, because the smack really didn't affect him. So I don't think he thought it was a joke. I mean, I think he thought it was like a bit, that Will was just, doing on the fly.
I kind of want to play you something because there's this joke, right? Because this will back my point.
Your point that some other people have made jokes and not had issues, because I'm not debating that. That's not the debate. And
no, I know. I think I'm not really debating you two, because that's the second time. I want to clarify. I'm not really debating you two. I'm more debating the internet, because it's bothering me so much that people are like,
yeah, but
he was making fun of a disability, and it's like,
no, but there's a clip of Andrew Schultz at a comedy show. And there's a guy in a wheelchair, and he just roasts this guy for 15 minutes. And it's the most hilarious thing you'll ever see in your life. The guy in the wheelchair is laughing, everybody's laughing, but he's agreeing to get these jokes. Like I don't think when people say comedy's dead and like you can't say anything more, I'm like, just watch this. Just watch this fucking disabled guy in a wheelchair.
Watch like 80% of all the stand-up specials. Like Bill Burr has like 5 stand-up specials produced by Netflix in the past.
Talks about beating women and
how he would be a genocidal dictator. Like
what did he say on Conan? He said, I hope more people die from COVID so that LA streets are
like, I see the traffic coming back, greedily. I know it's a greedy thought, but I wish more people would have fucking died. Traffic's coming back, and I can just feel it rising up. That's lost audio.
It's all right.
I think the box got disconnected, but she'll be back. But yeah, it's like, no, there's so much, and especially like if your only definition of comedy is edgy bullshit comedy, then like you're like limiting what the art form can be inherently, like more so than any cancel culture bullshit. Like, oh, he said so, like, because most of the time it ends up being like just a group of people who didn't like the joke, and then people they make it seem like it's like this massive mob that exists and they're going to burn down the house, but really it's just a bunch of people on Twitter being like, yeah, that was kind of shit, I didn't like that, which is fine.
So
Jess, you went out again.
No, I muted myself by accident.
I was like,
watch this, and clicked mute. I saw myself do it.
Watch this. Boom. I'm out again.
Wait, I'm gonna load the video, because this is like this is what I don't understand. Like, here.
Jake, how much time do we have, just so we know?
With pro-site skills. With skills, you can set your top tech priorities. Index.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Jess.
Yes.
We're not getting paid by those advertisers. That's skills.
I know, I skipped it. I'm sorry. I don't pay for my YouTube. Like,
I don't know who would do that. It's fucking stupid. It's silly. It's good for podcasts when I'm driving. Shut up.
Except you have to listen to a little bit of U2 every time.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right. So here, ready?
Will 50.
Oh, they're not going to show the video? That's
Bruh, this video's got 36 likes, Jess. What do you watch on YouTube when you're on here?
This is
I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I got to find it.
Okay. Yeah, this is...
And in 28 seconds. Here, I believe that Laverne Cox did a joke about the entanglement that they did not
their face.
Yeah, but they did not get the shit slapped out of them for. I guess the difference I'd highlight in that is that they willingly like put that out there and like all that shit they kind of had to have known, like, oh, you were going to get a little bit mocked for.
There's also,
I found it.
It's not like Laverne Cox broke some ground and did some shit there. It's like, you can make fun of anyone who had an affair in Hollywood, which is many people.
I'm sharing.
This one's got 11 likes, Jess. What is going on?
No, look, this is actually it.
But it's got 11 likes.
To their face.
We love you. Thank you for all the years of joy you brought us. Thank you. We can't wait for more Red Table Talk and more entanglements and
like to their face.
No more entanglements. No more entanglements.
Like, I just don't understand.
Well, possibly because like it's referencing the watershed moment of their Red Table Talk thing.
Right. It was probably in the dead center of it.
Like, it's not even like, once again, jokes that are kind of just bad.
And it's not really, she's not really making fun of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I can't wait for the drama that we hear about from you guys doing this fucking red table talk thing. Like, it's, and who you're gonna slap, like, once again, no one's saying, like, not no one, but like, it's you're gonna slap Laverne Cox, like, why?
But see, that's the point that I'm making though. Like, no, he's not gonna slap her, and he's not gonna slap anybody else but Chris Rock.
Again, but that was a bad example because that joke is not on par with what was said. Like the entanglement thing, that was probably directly after. They literally have a fucking episode about an entanglement. Like, it's okay to talk about this pretty much. It's also not something that we,
but it's not though. People downplay that too. Like, people are downplaying it because it's Will and Jada, but in the meantime, Will and Jada are pretty problematic. Like,
yeah, but that's fine. Like,
no, it's totally fine, but people are sticking up for them like they're the king and queen. The thing is, it's like I said, that whole entanglement situation came from Jada sleeping with one of her son's friends.
I do think that your version of the internet is very skewed towards this specific, like the pro Will Smith crowd, because the most pro Will Smith thing that I've seen has been the general thing that I kind of agree with, of like, you should be allowed to hit someone. Like, if they're talking spicy, like, you should be allowed to just be like, fuck you, and like punch them and be done with it. Like,
I just don't think
the thing is, I agree with it, but
on live TV is the way to go. Like, if we had found out about it afterwards, like, hey, like he came up to him after the show and he fucking smacked the shit out of him, everybody would be like, yo, Will's the man. He just defended his wife, whatever.
It's really all about this, like the moment where he did it.
Yeah, it's just,
and once again, I think most people picked a side and then found the points to back up their stance. Like, I don't think people had these hard stances, and then that's why it seems out of place and inconsistent, is because they decided, probably from like a gut instinct of what I would do or what I would want like my significant other to do, is probably where they're coming from.
I almost feel like the people on the internet's defense when it happened gave Will an out when he apologized on Twitter. He was like, oh, my wife has a medical condition or whatever. Like, would that have, I wonder,
I think his genuinely wonder came from people's excuses.
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
I thought you said the opposite. Sorry.
No, I'm saying, like, I wonder if people hadn't come up with their own conclusions prior to his apology, I wonder what he would have said. I genuinely want to know what his reason was. Like, was his reason just because, fucking just overload of nonstop jokes about the wife? Was it Chris Rock having a history of making fun of Jada years ago? Like, what was the real reason that made him snap?
I honestly think it's because of all the shit. Like, do you remember that like solid stretch of month, even without the cheating, where Jada was like genuinely making Will look bad? Like, it was, even after the entanglement situation, there was another situation, and the internet was like, Jada and Will need to keep their relationship off the internet. Like, people were tired of them because she was just sharing way too much about Will. I wish I could remember what it all was, but I can't, because I didn't give a shit after a certain point. But
all right,
I think that's about the entanglement thing, because it blew the fuck up. But I don't follow either one of them in particular with any real depth. But we've spent 45 minutes on this.
Yeah, let's hit.
The whole podcast is about this.
It's fine.